give you answers to a lot of the technical questions as it relates to the legislation, the Green Energy Act, and stuff relating to that. So Samira is with us all day today. So Samira, thank you very much for joining us today. As we start, I want to first and foremost introduce our City Councillor for Capital Ward, David Chernashenko, who somebody, as you know, has worked on this particular issue in his professional life for a long, long time. So perhaps I can ask David to make a few comments.
I have been exploring renewable energy hands-on for quite a while now. I'm not a technical person. I always needed somebody else to help me put them up and do the wiring for me. But I just thought that whether it was at a cabin in the woods or here in the city, if I've got sun hitting my house or my cabin most of the day, surely I could do something with it. That something could be to passively heat the house by orienting the windows, pulling up my blinds when I wanted the heat to come in, and taking care to lower the blinds or put up awnings to keep the heat of the sun out when I didn't want it. It could be actually generating electricity. And I chose, about 10 years ago now, to put 4 solar panels over the front step in order to power my office. And that started me down the road of exploring what you can and you can't do with photovoltaic energy. And that's important too. You're not going to have anyone here tell you everything you want can be generated from your own rooftop. There's a reality that we learn quite quickly when we try to use renewable energy is you have to be very sensible about how much energy you actually consume. But that's great, because that's a conversation we want to have too. One of the great challenges we have globally as a society now is how can we live well with much less energy, and how can we have most, if not all, of that energy come from less polluting renewable sources. And solar energy is one of those. So my passion led to me exploring what can I do.
All right, hi, my name is Michael McGarren from Ottawa Solar Power. Our company has been in operation since 1996. We install microfit and off-grid systems. The market here in Ontario has grown leaps and bounds since the introduction of the microfit program. But we still have our roots based on the off-grid market, where we do battery-based systems for people who don't have access to electricity, and we can provide systems for them to power their off-grid homes and cottages.
And you're located right here in Ottawa?
Yeah, our offices and warehouse location are right here in Ottawa on Clyde Avenue, just off Carling.
And you have a website?
Yeah, our website is ottawasolarpower.com.
All right. Well, you can check this out on MCKJAM TV, and we're promoting environmental friendly products.
Thanks, Carl.
Led to me exploring policy issues of why can't we do more, can we do more, led to me ultimately making a film on these issues, some of you may know of or may have seen. And ultimately what I was trying to get at was, can I, one person, one family, can I make a difference? Can I shift away from, can I be a part of a shift away from the most polluting, most costly forms of energy to a type of energy that is fully sustainable in the long term?
And these are the folks from the Royal Bank,
Yes,
who is all environmental conscious.
we are very much so.
Okay.
Are you aware that we are?
Yes, I'm aware that you are. You're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're the only bank that's here. But we're doing this for like YouTube, and we're also, I'm from Jamaica, and we're interested in solar and wind energy, and we're trying to basically network with Canadian companies here. I'm also Canadian, but like, you know, from Jamaica. And so we're trying to basically network with the companies here to get more of the technology down there in solar.
Has the Blue Water Project, which is international, where they look at sustaining drinking water for countries throughout the world. And that's a huge part that the Royal Bank is doing. And we're just here to support our community. We're a small local branch, and we just thought we'd support the community by participating today.
Yeah, well, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the water project, because we got lots of that in Jamaica.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Dunn's River Rapids, my favorite.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what kind of investments that have been made in the last 7 or so years under the current government in terms of renewing our energy system? We've seen about 8,000 megawatt of new generation that has been put in, enough to power about 2 million homes a year. So an investment of your dollars of about $9 billion. 5,000 kilometers of upgrades to transmission and distribution systems, almost can run coast to coast, in terms of to provide for a smart grid. That's an investment of about $6 billion in the last 7 or so years. We've seen about 1,400 megawatt of renewable energy, wind and solar, coming online thus far. We're talking about 400,000 homes a year that has been added or being supplied through renewable energy. If you look at wind alone, in 2003 there were about 10 wind turbines in the province of Ontario. We were the last in the country. Today there's in excess of 700 wind turbines producing renewable energy across the province. And we become a leader across Canada, which is a significant investment. We are also in the process of getting away from coal generation. Coal generation is down by 70% now since 2003. We've shut down about 8 coal units. That's approximately about taking 500,000 cars off the road in terms of carbon emissions, which is extremely significant in terms of the air we breathe as well.
My name is Sean. I'm with a company called Arbor. We're an environmental store. This is Yanina. And we're here to promote renewable energy and provide books and information so people can lower their impact on the environment and become sustainable.
And make money.
Business and be viable from a business point of view.
Well, that's where the new green jobs and the new green business, that's where it's at.
Yeah, the green movement definitely has to be profitable.
Okay, cool. Well, keep up the good work.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hi Carl, I'm David Cork. I'm with Isolera Solar Power Services here in Ottawa. We help customers install, select, and connect to the grid to deliver power. For most of our customers, a fairly modest addition to their home can result in a very, very good payback, typically within 7 or 8 years. And then after that, they're producing power which helps reduce greenhouse gas, but also produces power that can reduce the load on our system.
Cool. Thank you. And this is your...
It was a year of hope and anticipation to allow the structure, in other words, to allow...
Folks, time to start again. Sorry to startle you. If you can come back. Couple of reminders as well, very quickly. One on the...
Okay, my name is Veronique Lemieux. I'm the Vice President of Solart. So we are a company who does mainly design and engineering. So we do not manufacture the products. We have a catalog of products that are coming from all over the world, and we choose the best products depending on the project. So that is what we do. Here's an example, maybe I can show you. Here's an example of a very interesting greenhouse. It's we have the exclusive design on this. It's a greenhouse for growing trees. So it has a double purpose. It grows trees, but at the same time, since trees do not need too much light, you actually protect them from the light by catching the sun, by harnessing the sun and producing energy. So that's a very interesting project on which we work. So that's the inside view, the outside view. That is more a typical project, a more residential project, with two, you can't really see them, but you have two solar thermal panels that are a little bit larger, and you have PV arrays here, and that was for a project, not even in Ontario, it was a project in Quebec. It was a high-end cottage. So we also specialize in high-end installation, custom-made. You have a crazy idea, we go for it. So, so that's basically our company.
You're really pioneers. This is still a very new thing that's happening in Ontario, but it's an important thing. And my role here is to come and tell you about the role that Hydro Ottawa plays in terms of, specifically I'm going to focus in on the microfit opportunities. Yeah, sir, you were mentioning that in Ottawa, we have been leaders in terms of the whole conservation initiative, and I'm very proud to say that Hydro Ottawa has taken a significant role in that as well. How many of you here are familiar with the fridge reclamation program, refrigerator buyback program? Does anybody take part in this? I just wanted to give you a basic description of how the electricity system works. That's even a more complicated picture than I can't understand that, I can tell you that, but I can understand this. It's very basic if you boil it down to its very simple formula. Somebody makes electricity, it gets transmitted, and it gets distributed. Simple as that. In Ontario and around the world, this has been the way that the system has worked. In Ontario, it's generally the Ontario Power Company, Ontario Power Generation, that generates about 70% of the power in our province. Hydro One transmits that power long haul across the province and hands it off to about 85 local distribution companies around the province. Hydro Ottawa is a local distribution company. We are the third largest in the province. We have about 300,000 customers. In fact, I think if you could go back to here's where we're at today in Ottawa. We've had there's 442 applications. When I say that, those are applications to the Ontario Power Authority. We haven't seen them yet. We just are kept apprised of what's going on. And right now in Ottawa, we've taken 48 customers all the way from the pig through the python type of thing, all the way to the end. So when I say you're pioneers, you are indeed pioneers. This is only 48 out of the whole city, right? So we're in the early stages. It's very exciting. It does take a little bit of time, and everybody's figuring out how this all works, and so we're getting through that. But these processes are getting nailed down, and it's a very exciting time. Incidentally, those contracts awarded. I can't remember the exact kilowatts, but the 48 that would be enough to power about 100 homes or thereabouts at any time. If the 442 went through, that would be enough to power about 1,400 homes. So as you can see, small steps make a big impact. So with that, I think next slide. And that's basically it. I just wanted to give you a very high-level overview, and if you had any questions, happy to field them. Unless, yes, sir, we've got time commitment. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.